The moment the doors closed behind me, an icy shiver crawled up my spine. The sterile scent of disinfectant filled my nostrils, mingling with the metallic tang of fear that hung heavy in the air. Each clang reverberated through my bones as I stumbled into my new reality: jail. I was a young man, lost in a world where shadows loomed larger than life. In the chaotic din of the intake process, I caught snippets of camaraderie forming, laughter echoing off the concrete walls, but trust felt like a foreign language. My heart raced as I navigated the treacherous waters of survival. Was I to find loyalty here, or would betrayal lurk just beyond the corners of my vision? The days stretched into an eternity, and yet I found myself yearning for connection, a flicker of humanity amid the harshness. The journey had just begun, but I could already feel the walls closing in. The silence that followed my arrival would soon become a haunting echo as Elena's story unfolded, a tale of isolation that would shatter the facade we all wore. Elena's days blurred together in the oppressive silence of solitary confinement. The walls, painted a dull gray, seemed to close in, amplifying her solitude. Memories of her classroom flooded her mind: laughter, the bright faces of her students, and the vibrant chaos of learning. Now only echoes remained, reminding her of a life lost to fraud and desperation. In this confinement, she sought solace in creativity, turning scraps of paper into intricate sketches, each line a whisper of her buried emotions. During guarded exchanges with other inmates, she shared her art, finding fleeting connections in shared understanding. Even in the depths of isolation, Elena discovered resilience, proving that creativity could flourish within the harshest of confines. As she sketched her journey through regret and hope, the prison's silence transformed into a canvas of reflection, setting the stage for the intricate bond of survival that would soon emerge in the yard. In the sprawling expanse of the yard, Jamal finds a sense of belonging amidst the chaos. Here, under the watchful gaze of towering walls, the rhythms of life pulse through the cracked concrete as inmates gather. The sounds of basketballs thumping against asphalt blend with spirited laughter, creating a tapestry of camaraderie woven from shared struggles and whispered secrets. It's a place where loyalty reigns supreme. Friendships are forged in the crucible of survival. As Jamal recounts his interactions, players hustling for every chance, the tense exchanges among rival factions, he reflects on the fragile bonds that form in this harsh environment. Each day offers a glimpse into the complexity of their lives, revealing not only the brutality of existence behind bars, but also the glimmers of humanity that persist. With each rhythmic bounce of the ball, he feels renewed purpose, a brief escape from the weight of his reality, as he embraces the brotherhood that the yard provides, setting the stage for further reflection on his journey ahead. In the heart of the prison, amidst the echo of locked doors and whispered fears, Lila finds a flicker of hope within the walls that confine her. As she shares her story, her voice trembles with vulnerability, yet resonates with strength. Participating in a rehabilitation program offers her a lifeline. It's a sacred space where women gather to share their truths, their laughter rising like a soft hymn against the cold concrete. Poetry flows like water, each verse a testament to their shared struggles, transforming pain into art. Lila recalls the first time she opened her heart in group therapy, the weight of judgment falling away, leaving behind a fragile bond with those around her. Each day, the laughter during workshops brightens the grayness of confinement, and as they create together, the women stitch their stories into a tapestry of resilience, hoping to rebuild their futures both inside and outside these walls. Xavier sits at a rickety desk, the harsh glow of a flickering bulb illuminating the worn paper before him. Each stroke of his pen carries the weight of years spent behind bars, a lifetime marked by regrets he can scarcely bear to confront. As he pours his heart into letters addressed to his estranged daughter, the echoes of lost time reverberate in the dim cell. He recalls her laughter, the milestones he missed, graduations, birthdays, all replaced with the sterile scent of confinement. With every word, he hopes to mend the ties that frayed with his past mistakes. The scratching of the pen mingles with distant conversations, a reminder of the world beyond these walls. He writes of redemption, of dreams deferred, and the flicker of hope that one day they could bridge the chasm between them. As he seals the envelope, the lingering silence envelops him, hinting at possibilities yet to unfold, bridging the divide that years of separation have created. Tasha adjusts the worn-out chair in the small corner of the recreation room, her heartbeat syncing with the muffled sounds of life beyond the walls. In here, we don't just serve time, she begins, her voice carrying the weight of unshared stories. With the rustle of papers and the soft scratching of pens, she gathers her fellow inmates, each one longing for an outlet. The contest she organizes becomes a beacon of hope, a way for voices once silenced to echo through the confines. Each narrative is a step toward freedom, she encourages, igniting a spark in reluctant spirits. Laughter dances in the air as they share fragments of their lives, tales of dreams, regrets, and resilience. The rhythmic scratching of pens intertwines with their shared laughter, creating a symphony of truth. In these moments, they discover the transformative power of storytelling, knitting a bond stronger than the concrete that surrounds them. Leo adjusts to the dim light of his cell, memories of distant gunfire echoing in his mind. As a former soldier, he carries the weight of trauma that shackles him even more than the iron bars surrounding him. The nights are often the hardest. Whispers of past battles invade his thoughts, often spiraling into desperate sobs. He reflects on a silent pact forged among veterans in prison, acknowledging their scars, both seen and unseen, and sharing their stories in hushed voices. Each encounter reveals a flicker of understanding, a shared burden transformed into something palpable. In the communal moments during therapy sessions, Leo feels that maybe healing is possible, despite the walls closing in. It's in these spaces of vulnerability that he finds acceptance, a fragile camaraderie with others who fought their own internal wars. The rhythm of his heartbeat syncs with the stories around him, creating an unbreakable bond amidst the solitude. Maria sits on the edge of her bunk, the cold concrete pressing against her. As she closes her eyes, echoes of her children's laughter from the playground bleed into the present, mingling with the distant clang of metal doors. Memories swirl like soft whispers, her son's first steps, her daughter's dance recitals, moments now drenched in a longing she can scarcely bear. Inside these walls, time feels suspended, yet every heartbeat carries the weight of her choices. Each stolen item was a desperate grasp for survival, but now, in retrospect, it feels like a chain that binds her to a past she can't escape. Conversations with other mothers behind bars occasionally spark hope, as they share stories about their kids, igniting the flicker of resilience. Amid the sorrow, there lies a fragile strength in their shared dreams of reunions, and Maria clings to the thought of returning to the arms of her children, determined to rewrite her story. And in that same spirit, the hope for redemption takes root within the confines of their shared struggles. Ahmed's voice breaks through the dim light of the common room, a space where whispers of the past intertwine with the hopes of the future. You don't understand until you're on the other side, he reflects, recalling the fierce grip that gang life had on him, a cycle perpetuated by choices made in desperation. The soundscapes of distant laughter and subdued conversations swirl around him as he mentors younger inmates seeking a way out of the darkness. Every name you call, every friend you lose, leaves a mark, he shares solemnly, recounting the lives lost to violence. But here, amid the murmur of conversations and quiet resolve, Ahmed sees opportunity, the chance to break a cycle that has held so many captive. His words encourage others to take responsibility for their pasts, sparking a flame of hope that pushes against the oppressive walls of despair. As he speaks, the collective longing for redemption fills the space, resonating with a shared conviction that change is indeed possible. Jasmine, a repeat offender with a history of addiction, reflects on her tumultuous journey through the gates of the prison. The familiar clang of the metal doors still reverberates in her mind, a reminder of the relentless cycle that trapped her. Surrounded by the ghosts of her choices, she participates in a support meeting, where hushed voices share stories of past mistakes and fleeting hopes. The distant murmur of fellow inmates fills the room, interspersed with tense silences, as each person grapples with their demons. For Jasmine, breaking the cycle has become a daily battle, one that requires fierce honesty and vulnerability. As she speaks of her struggles, the weight of her past hangs heavily, Yet amidst the shadows, she finds a glimmer of clarity. Each story shared reminds her that healing is possible, and through these connections, she begins to see a path toward redemption. The echoes of her surroundings fade momentarily, replaced by a fragile sense of hope. Frank's voice wavers as he recalls the moments when his health began to falter. Confined to his cell, often teetering between pain and acceptance, he finds solace in the unexpected friendships formed within these walls. The sound of quiet hospital-like beeps and hushed conversations wraps around him like a comforting blanket. He remembers how laughter erupted during shared meals, moments when his condition seemed to fade into the background. In this strange haven of steel and concrete, inmates would offer their support, sharing stories of their own vulnerabilities. They became brothers and sisters in struggle, crafting connections deeper than the prison walls themselves. In the sterile surroundings of the infirmary, Frank reflects on how compassion bloomed in the most unlikely places, a reminder that even in solitude, grace can emerge. As he lays down his thoughts, he hears echoes of footsteps, a reminder that no one is truly alone in their journey through shadows. As Pastor David reflects on his life within the cold confines of prison, the dim light flickers around him as he sits on a worn bench, his thoughts drifting to the faith that has been both his anchor and his solace. Each Sunday, he leads prayer circles, the soft harmonies of church hymns reverberating in the sterile chapel. The voices of his fellow inmates intertwine, creating a tapestry of hope woven through their shared struggles. In these moments, he sees the power of forgiveness blossom, both from within and toward others. The ambient sounds of quiet prayer circle around him, mingling with the hushed exchanges of despair and longing. Each prayer is a step toward redemption, a whisper in the dark echoing through the walls. Pastor David knows that behind the grim facade, an inner transformation is possible, and through his guidance, others begin to discover the healing that faith can bring. Nicole's voice trembles as she recounts the night that altered her life forever. Convicted for her role in a fatal accident, she finds herself grappling with the weight of guilt that bears down like a heavy shroud. The rhythmic sound of her heartbeat underscores her emotional turmoil, echoing through her solitary cell. "I still hear the sirens, the cries," she says, her voice thick with remorse. Each memory is a sharp reminder of the choices she made, choices that shattered lives and left her grappling with unbearable responsibility. As she reflects on her past, she finds solace in group therapy, where she learns to confront her guilt with others who carry their own burdens. In hushed tones, they share stories of regret and the longing for forgiveness, creating a fragile bond that helps mend their fragmented souls. Nicole's journey reveals that even amidst despair, the path to healing begins with acknowledgement, and the hope for redemption is never truly lost.